Hello, this is Dr. Jared Castleberry, Associate Professor and Program Director of Communication, Media, and Ethics at Mid-America Christian University. And I'm here with a preview of our main text readings for COMM 5113, Global Marketing and Strategic Networking. Now, if you're a full-time marketer, this course is going to be a little bit of a swerve from some of the curriculum that you've likely encountered in your past, and we hope it's in the best way possible. We have some strategic initiatives that we are aiming for in this class. And so I'm here to present some of the philosophies as well as strategies that we'll be taking in the course. When we set out to explore ways to offer this class to our students, we at first attempted to look down the direction of traditional marketing classes and international marketing classes, kind of reviewed and explored the nature of that type of curriculum. However, a threshold we kept coming back to, especially when consulting with our own School of Business program directors, was elements of the class tended to create a bit of redundancy, overlap from directions that students were already covering in alternative classes. Thus, we came to a position where it makes the most sense to lean into our discipline and the things we can do best in communication. And so that is the direction we're taking. And it's going to be a fun, eventful course, and we have a handful of readings that we're going to tackle together. Let's not shy away from that process, all right? This is incredibly common at the most rigorous graduate universities and departments, the opportunity to explore numerous perspectives, and we are going to do that in this course, all right? And so I am going to preview our core readings for the class. I've got them just behind me here. We're going to take a look and just put a name and a face to each of those, and we hope you enjoy that. I've got the first one in hand already. We are going to be looking at The Strategic Networker, A Learner's Guide to Effective Networking from John Paul Hatala. And so here's one of the great things about this book. First of all, it's incredibly lean. You're going to have no problem tackling this resource. And I use that word strategically because this is going to be a nice bread and butter text for you. This is going to lay some foundational tools that you will use throughout the course. So this is a must read. You are going to want to get into it, return to it. You'll be taking some notes, but it's so thin. It's going to have practical application every step of the way. And we are guaranteed this is going to tie into curriculum each week in the course. Well, here is our next array of readings. And at once upon a time, we thought about tackling one reading a week, right? And essentially organizing the class into a book club type of format where students are challenged to really work through that aggressive amount of material independent of one another. I've taken similar courses, including a historical methods course in my at the university I attended for my terminal degree. And while that was a really refreshing approach, I think what benefits our students best, not only in communication, but in these overlapping and intersecting areas that they may be coming from, marketing, business, leadership, and so on, it helps to be able to synthesize materials. So in the middle weeks of this course, we are going to be synthesizing 3 readings at once. And I'm excited to kind of preview a little bit of each. We're looking at providing some breakout clips or commentaries on these works and finding resourceful ways for including them in the class. Well, let me start at a basic level. This one is an interesting book that's inspired a lot of scholars and theorists in different ways, and I'm intrigued to see how our students react to it. This is Carl Honore's In Praise of Slowness, Challenging the Cult of Speed. And so what you're going to find through this book is, while it seems like it's pretty medium length in size. It's a fast read. It's relatable. It's written in a very informal style, and I think that's going to allow you to be able to kind of pick it up, think of it as a secondary resource, and just briskly move through the thoughts. It's very anecdotal as opposed to theoretical, and I think that's going to be a kind of nourishing, refreshing read that you can kind of pick up and put down throughout the day. You could take it to the doctor's office, or have it in those waiting periods of life. Maybe grab 10-15 pages before you go to bed at night. It's not going to put you to sleep with its sort of dense, rigorous acumen, right, in terms of its linguistic structure. And so I do think you're going to appreciate the style in which it's written. Well, we're going to contrast that because everything isn't about easy breezy reading, just as we're not entirely leaning into slowness. In fact, we want to look at the diversity of cultural perspectives in this course. And so our readings are helping to promote the core themes that we're looking at: global marketing, as well as strategic networking, how these types of terms integrate with one another, how we can use these to develop partnerships around the world, right? Not just down our street, although we hope you do that too, but we're going to learn how to develop a foreign correspondence. And so part of that is to look at varied perspectives, to understand cross-cultural and intercultural communication patterns, that's where these two classics come into play, these next two books that you'll be reading in the middle chunks of the class. Well, this first one is an absolute home run, right, among many scholars in our discipline. And in fact, his works kind of transcend into other fields as well. Sociology is another one that comes to mind. But this is Edward T. Hall's The Hidden Dimension. All right, The Hidden Dimension is what some consider a classic in that sort of public intellectual format. And so he's going to introduce some conversations about cultural differences, and how and through our understanding we can generate enhanced meaning there. Well, it doesn't stop with Edward T. Hall. We also have another modern classic. It's Robert Levine's A Geography of Time. We're going to be reading A Geography of Time, The Temporal Misadventures of a Social Psychologist. All right, so if you like weaving between disciplines, exploring the ways that psychology and sociology and communication intersect and overlap, and then lend value to areas like the study of leadership or the study of management, right? And so many other fields. These authors are going to speak a language that you're excited to adopt. And then finally, to conclude the course, we're going to present something that's going to push us further and get us thinking outside of those traditional boundaries, not only geographical, political boundaries, but digital boundaries. In fact, we're going to look at Ramesh Srinivasan's Whose Global Village? Rethinking How Technology Shapes Our World. And so this is a nice play off of classical, early media theorists. Marshall McLuhan comes to mind with his famous reference and theoretical writings on the quote-unquote global village. And so Ramesh is going to take us across kind of update that commentary to speak on behalf of those voices that perhaps were marginalized throughout the early history of media studies. And so it's going to give us that healthy and balanced challenge to rethink notions where we easily become comfortable with as we circle the globe and gain new insights and wisdom and takeaways in COMM 5113, Global Marketing and Strategic Networking.